Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Hello.
We're back. We're back.
It's back.
It's been.
And we almost weren't again.
We almost weren't, but
Please tell us how volume levels are. We had to change some volume stuff.
yeah, let us know. So last time, I guess you should definitely go watch the last episode if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Just letting you know up front.
Big spoilers from here on out. Thank you, Gomez.
Thank you,
wow,
Gomez.
that's like, how many gift subs is that?
Oh, is it a lot?
Oh
my God.
It's 5.
Thank you.
5
That's-
whole
My
gift
channel
subs.
is full of those.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And
Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, I have my OBS open. I'm like, why am I hearing this twice?
Oh, double thank you. Thank you, Gomez. Very kind of you.
Thank you.
So, last
I
time,
appreciate it.
this is your last chance. Gregson died. Oh no! What happened? No!
I forgot about that.
It
My
sucks.
boy.
It sucks, and Lord Van Zeeks has been accused of the crime, and Kazuma is going to be the prosecutor in his stead. It's a lot. It's a lot. But
Who's also alive?
I thought that we were done here, but Susato's saying, "Are you sure that we've asked everything that we need to?" So I guess I'm not leaving. Examine
Our
Kazuma.
friend is dead, our husband is prosecuting, we're defending. In other words, it's an Ace Attorney game.
It is a lot.
Yep.
I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be all right now.
Has your memory completely returned?
Yes, completely. I remember everything,
What are you doing?
including what I was coming here to do.
Right.
Kazuma-sama. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice.
Hmm?
This past year. I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London. It even navigated me through the underground.
Oh.
Wow.
Somehow.
I'm so sorry for what's happened.
Anyway, my memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return to the way it was before.
Huh? What do you mean?
Our relationship.
Oh.
I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon.
Tomorrow, right? At work?
At work.
You know
At
how
work.
we work together?
Yeah. It doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart.
Oh,
Rem-
yeah.
rem-
Well, we aren't officially the the lawyer of Van Zeek Street.
We
are
are.
I mean, it's
I mean,
gonna
not
happen.
Will be,
officially.
but it hasn't
we? We
happened.
know we will be.
Yeah, we have to convince Van Zeeks. Van Zeeks seems pretty opposed, so I'm curious how we're gonna convince him. Tomorrow, remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery. Okay.
All right.
Sorry to have taken up
You
so much
say
of your
so.
much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Bah!
Hold it. Before you go, Rinosuke,
Oh, what is it, Kazuma?
I just wanted to thank you.
Hmm.
Kazuma-sama? What?
You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection.
You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want to die with you, or want that to die with you.
Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here.
Oh!
I actually have a favor to ask.
Which is?
this trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow, I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as the defense counsel.
What? Why? What's this all about?
Conflict of interest be damned. I know you have what it takes.
But Lord Van Zieks would never put his fate in my hands.
On the contrary, he recognizes your talent.
He does?
It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this.
Oh!
Ah,
That's...
that's Lord Van Zieks and Inspector Gregson.
in a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. And who's the third
I'm
person?
a little child. I'm baby.
It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office.
In Gregson's office, you mean?
Yes. What I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it.
Okay, thank you. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this?
Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over.
What are you doing, Kazuma?
As if that has ever stopped us.
What was that? Give that to me. You're not supposed to have that. I don't want you to have that. Okay, back to the prison.
Put it down. Ow.
Ah!
Why do you have that? I don't want you to have that. Give it
No,
back.
no. This is mine now. Oh, okay. Lord Van Zieks is still reading that letter.
We've been gone quite some time, though.
Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can.
I can hear you, you know.
Oops.
I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't return a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese.
Oh, sorry. I didn't think you'd hear that.
It's an open wall! And you're loud. I had the case notes brought into me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time.
Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow.
Which is none of your business.
So, have you found a lawyer?
How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you.
In other words, no.
We were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided.
I'd expect nothing less. Though I have no idea who it is.
It's going to be Kazuma Asogi.
Asogi!
That made the color drain from his face. Yeah, he wouldn't like that.
Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all.
Okay. Here, dude, I think you should
Does
have
he
a
have
look at
anything new to say?
this. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, look at our badge! Oh,
Yeah.
hi. 10 years ago, my older brother, who was director of prosecutionist at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East.
Is that why you're racist?
I thought that had been established. Not a single day goes by, but I don't curse the name Asogi.
Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father.
It had quite an impact on you.
So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court.
I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you.
It's what he does. No doubt he knew the young man's true identity from the outset.
But what could he have been hoping to achieve?
Have you seen the man? He would have make a laugh out of it.
Ha 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 ha. And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to someone like that?
Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane.
Epitome.
Epitome.
I know what I said. That bane that is you Nipponese.
Right, your hatred of all us Japanese. It's bad luck.
I'm
Let's
just
talk about-
saying, people aren't racist for a reason. Like,
I am.
it's not an event.
My brother died.
So you decided this is a good reason to hate all oh, never mind.
Yes, I did, because those three are the only ones I ever knew.
Nobody
I'd
said it was a
only
healthy
just been
viewpoint.
appointed. No, I didn't say that either. I'd only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago.
I was about to say you should see a therapist. Then I realized at this time point that would mean like
It's
Sigmund Freud.
1900s.
Yeah.
Oh, you want a lobotomy?
Japanese! My brother Clint, the director of the prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer.
The so-called professor.
Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard.
And that was Genshin Asogi?
Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. New music. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong.
Oh, how awful.
To avenge my brother, I prosecuted Inasogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I believe... I'm not stalling until I find out how this is pronounced.
Beleaguered.
Beleaguered. The ascribed prosecutor went until he consented. Where is the ghost when I need him?
What do
summoned
you
him.
mean by the ascribed prosecutor?
The man in charge of the professor was case inquiry. Lord Mail Strongheart.
Wait, what?
Wait,
Lord Strongheart?
He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the person whom I've felt indebted.
I'm sure he must have seen your zeal from the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor.
Anyway, time passed. But then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? And of all things, as a lawyer.
I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious, deep loathing of us Japanese.
I kept telling myself that it was illogical. But for so many years, the hatred has festered inside me. I could no longer control it.
And I can understand why now that I know the history.
But in the same way, I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life. To Kazuma Sogi, I am the bane of his. The Reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow.
Nah, I don't think he's like that.
Gregson's transfer to the Paris police prefecture hadn't finally began arranged for the coming month. but he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy.
Oh yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he?
I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean.
It's the first time I've ever encountered it.
Oh,
The Paris police welcomed an English detective is almost inconceivable.
You know those Parisians.
Listen, I am tired. I woke up like 20 minutes ago. This
No,
jail
not you.
cell
I
is
was
I know.
It seemed like they were making fun of the French.
Yeah, that too. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place.
It sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed.
I'm afraid to say, we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at the Scotland Yard.
I can hear his music in my heart.
Aw.
Aw.
Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself. By uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity.
Oh.
If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made.
What sort of approach?
After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy.
Oh my, 10 years ago?
Why is that so surprising?
Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And my brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death.
So you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then.
And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life.
I don't have confidence in anyone.
Oh.
And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. There's gonna be no picture that proves otherwise. I no doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London.
What really went on between Lord Van Zieks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? Oh, wait. Oh,
Your
you got
gun.
Let's talk about your gun. About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene.
Ah, yes. Not mine.
Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is.
Nuh-uh. What do you expect me to say to that?
Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm.
As embarrassing as it is, I'm afraid it's true.
When did you lose it then?
That I don't know.
Oh,
I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps.
you have something in common with Lord Van Zieks after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things.
No.
I don't want to share anything with him.
This has nothing to... I don't want to share anything with him. Don't drag me into it. No.
Don't make the mistake of associating me with his Tiffany.
Yeah, fuck you too, buddy. Fuck you.
I called it.
Oh dear. The rift is very wide, isn't it?
So it's not decisive evidence, clearly. But it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Okay. You got a picture you gotta look at. You gotta check this out. It's great. Lord Van Zeeks, we came by this old photograph.
Ah! Where did you get that?
Haha, it's blackmail now. Let me take your case.
No! It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was lost long ago.
Is the man on the left there?
Yes, that is my brother, Clint.
Nice. It had to be, really. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know? Were you aware of that?
Respect? That's nonsense.
No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less.
Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brother in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice, and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you.
I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, an insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. That's nice.
I'm guessing you're not gonna show me the gun.
No. Don't need to. Oh.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh! That's the first time he's ever used my actual name.
I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in.
What's that?
That which you see the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth.
Lord Van Zeeks.
From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now. I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. I trust you.
Yes! Nice.
Here is a loathsome Nipponese who has absolute integrity as a lawyer.
Oh!
There are only two other men I've known with the same look in their eyes. My brother Clint
Oh.
and Genshin Asogi.
The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way.
How much do you want to bet that he somehow was not the one who did it?
I think that's increasingly likely, yes.
Yeah, I'm getting major DL6 vibes from all this.
Yeah.
A simple determination to know the truth, a resolve, if you will.
Oh.
When you showed me that... This game's title is Resolve, Jay.
Oh.
That photograph just now, it reminded me.
You mean this photograph? Oh, you mean this photograph?
You mean this picture?
You mean?
Back then, I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I look to the future with hope. Since then, I protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe.
I'm so sorry.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, well, you advocate for me.
Okay. Of course I will. It would be an honor.
I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo.
Now I need to go and lay down. That took a lot out of me.
He's very tired.
then my life is in your hands.
For Lord Van Zieks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow in the Old Bailey, against my old friend, Kazuma.
This is gonna be weird. This is a trial in this game where I'm not gonna be the prosecutor.
Yeah. We got Kazuma instead. I'm excited.
Literally the first trial. It's weird.
Oh yeah, because you're also, Pain.
Yes. Anyways, now I can take a sip.
Have a sip, dude.
Take
Uh.
a sip.
It is November! There's that old familiar feeling again. The crushing pressure of this historic courthouse. Actually, no. It's a little different today. There's an even more menacing tension in the air.
There's a menacing tension in the air here today, isn't there? I suppose.
Yes, I think so! Yes! It can only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant.
A little more courtesy, if you please.
Oh my! I do apologize.
However, you're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary.
What do you mean?
I'm not privy to the details. However, I understand that no jury has been selected.
Oh?
Hmm.
They
Trial
ran
without
out
a
of people.
jury? Well, that's just like
That's why there's so few people left on the casting jury.
the trial of the professor 10 years ago.
A closed court. Hey,
And this guy.
Good morning, my dear fellows.
Mr. Sholmes! Oh yes!
Have you made note of my hair, Miss Naruhodo? An outright victory for science, you must agree.
Good
it's
job.
only 3 shades off.
No, I think you did great. Looks good. To be perfectly honest, so much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem.
So did we.
So did we.
Yes, yesterday.
Yesterday.
What to one man is a little hair problem is to another a day of drinking dubious potions after dubious potions.
Aw,
You have no idea how my stomach ails me this morning.
Oh dear, how awful for you.
I'm afraid you only have yourself to blame, Mr.
I
Sholmes.
was about to say the same thing.
High end, low whiz.
And
Okay.
good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I'm delighted to see you looking so full of vim.
Vim. Yeah,
Full of him.
yeah.
Vim,
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 vim.
And you. I see London celebrated great detective is as active as ever.
Oh, you exaggerate, my dear fellow, compared to my paltry engagements in a few trivial cases. The Reaper's overbearing presence is a far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. And whilst I may not agree with your methods, there is at least one point on which I will readily commend you.
What an honor. And that would be.
Your eye for a good lawyer, sir.
Mr. Sholmes. Everybody's being very nice to me today. It's nice.
Oh. Such
After-
sass.
After all, behind this lawyer, there is a very great mind. My own.
Shut up! What are you trying to say?
That I wear this outfit just to piss you off. I wish only to say that you should prepare for quite a trial, Mr. Reaper.
I hate how Sean's probably would wear this pistol.
Yeah, probably. I'm sorry about John. Who that? Oh.
Ah, you too.
Sorry to barge in.
Oh, it's
Gina.
dead.
Oh, what's that on her arm? It's a mourning band, I suppose.
Father, shouldn't you be at the symposium?
It's been postponed, so I have some free time. I decided to come along with the police inspector to see our country's up-and-coming student in action.
Hmm.
I shall be very interested to see the fruits of your studies over the past year.
Well, it's an honor to have you here. Let's hope that there are some fruits to see.
Odo,
Oh, yes, Gina?
why do you agree to this, eh? Why do you take him on? This Reaper bloke. Everyone says it was him what killed the boss.
I'm sorry, Gina, but I just don't believe that.
Well, if it weren't him, then who was it?
I don't know that. Yet.
I don't care who calls him what. The Reaper's just a name. He's just a person at the end of the day. And if it turns out it was him what killed the boss, then God help him.
You're gonna kill me in my sleep, aren't you?
Would.
I would like to.
That's a lie. You would kill me if I was asleep or not.
No, but I'd like to.
Fiery ice indeed. Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing.
Huh?
At least that may be some solace to the deceased.
Please, Odo. Get whoever did this. For the boss.
For the boss.
Oh, Gina. I hate feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. So you've got to find who done this and make the wretch pay!
Jay, quick. Jay.
Jay, it's your man.
Buffaleaf.
Oh.
Count!
Mhm. Mm-hmm.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant! Court will be in session shortly. Make your way to the courtroom and watch blues.
All right, then. Here we go. Wonderful.
That's probably my last one, so I wanted to savor it just a little bit.
Maybe.
Well, we have another trial after this, isn't there?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure anymore.
What? Huh?
Chat, is this the last chapter of this game?
There are 10 chapters.
So
And I think it's
yes.
chapter 9.
This is chapter 9.
Oh.
One
It's
game.
time, Mr. Naruhodo. Lord Van Zeeks.
It's a mega trial. It's 2
And
chapters
Lord
in
Van
one
Zeeks,
trial.
Period. And statement. Yes.
One who lost his treasured brother to a mass murderer. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law. And one who lost the man who helped her escape destitution. All that misfortune, all that pain, on course to collide headlong in this trial. It's time to shine a light on all these dark events. And whatever truth is revealed, we're going to have to look at it straight in the eye. Okay. I'm ready.
All right.
No jury
Now,
this-
Cosmo, what funny animations are you gonna have?
No
Was
jury.
there
Oh,
any-
this is weird. It's an empty
It's-
court
It's
entirely.
really weird.
Yeah.
We're back to the original Ace Attorney trilogy. Who today?
Oh,
yeah.
today? Let me actually open Discord so I find out who it is today. And the one today is...
Is this case 5 part 1 or
Case
5 part 2?
4.
Four.
There's 4.
Case 4?
It's
Four.
me!
Oh.
It's sad.
That makes sense because you're not
So
Van
much
Zeeks.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session.
Have you gotten to
I'm
voice
watching
this
the-
character yet?
No!
Nope.
Wow.
He's always been Van Zeeks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We are here to conduct the fair and just trial of the defendant, Baruch von Seeks.
The
I'm the
rare judge
prosecution.
brother.
Counsel for the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin?
The defense is ready, my lord.
The prosecution is more than ready.
He got me.
Oh, Kazuma-sama.
Don't fall for the enemy.
I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long, it feels. But I never pictured it happening like this.
It goes for both of you.
I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution's bench.
Except they're already married.
The so-called Reaper of the Bailey has been a scourge like no other, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today we must uncover the truth behind this scourge.
In other words,
And the judge shows up.
this trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson murder.
The truths revealed by these proceedings may have unpredictable repercussions throughout the judiciary. Those are words. Accordingly, they have to be conducted as a closed trial with no members of the public present. By Her Majesty's direct orders.
How will that work, my lord?
The burden of all arbitrations and adjudication falls on my shoulders. Therefore, as you will see, it's empty in here.
Oh,
He's very lonely.
yeah.
It is empty.
What about those people back there?
Those are just cardboard cutouts.
Oh.
It felt empty in here. I don't like talking to nobody.
Is this creepier? Maybe.
Hmm.
It's a horror movie now.
If no members of the public are present, might I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord?
Oh.
They're a member of the judiciary, here to witness the proceedings and ensure an equitable trial.
Members of the judiciary.
I'm old.
Oh my. This is a very unusual trial already.
There is, of course, another unprecedented aspect of these proceedings, on which I must elaborate. The counsel for the defense, the prosecution and the defense are both aliens of Great Britain.
I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. And as I stand here in this courtroom now, I'm quite certain this is the reason why I had come to Britain.
Cosmo?
Very well, let us commence proceedings. Prosecutor Asogi, your opening statement, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. The incident took place on the 1st November at just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was a building on flats on Fresno Street on the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in an old single-room rental property.
Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson, a name known very well indeed to this court. Not least for his miraculous resolutions of one of his country's grimmest cases 10 years ago. And also the incident 6 months ago, but let's ignore that for now.
Don't worry about it. The professor case.
How sure are you about the time of the incident?
Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshot, and all have reported at the same time.
Yes, that's what Gina told us too. There were a number of witnesses.
I have here a plan of the room. Oh. The victim was found curled up in one corner. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly. Not now, Maisie.
Is that your kitty, Mr. Asogi?
Ow.
What was the cat's name?
It was...
Kokoro? No?
No.
It was something to do with Natsume. Ow.
Bagahai.
Wagahai, that's it.
Wagahai!
Hi.
How has the range been determined?
Hang on. Okay.
Kitty.
There were scorch marks around the entry wound. Such marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. But powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only injected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, it only happens when the target is at point-blank range.
I see, yes. Thank you for the detailed explanation, Counsel.
Thank you.
The murder weapon was found lying beside the victim.
And have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm?
No, my lord. Not conclusively.
Wow, you actually straight up said it.
Yeah.
You're not sure?
Bravo, Kazuma-sama.
I think it's like assumed to be
Yeah.
Fanzeek's.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just, we all assumed that he would say this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provenance can't be proven.
Furthermore, my lord, as I've explained, the revolver was fired at extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There is a candelabrum mounted on that wall, and the tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile.
Wait.
We noticed that too, didn't we?
Yes, Ash?
I'm wondering, that candelabra was pretty high up on the wall, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've been
Something
thinking
upward
that.
angle?
It could
Was
be.
it covered in wine?
Oh, that would prove it.
Unless-
Yes,
Wait.
that's right.
So either it was shot at an extreme upward angle, or an extreme downward angle from outside?
Hmm.
I
He's
don't.
there, under the floorboards.
Wouldn't they find a bullet in the floor then?
Possibly.
I don't know.
There's some
no.
good shenanigans.
I don't
He was-
think it'd be from a downward angle.
Yeah, he was definitely hit in the chest too because of the burn marks.
Yeah, it wouldn't line up.
Oh,
Maybe
like
his
point
body
blank,
was
yeah.
propped up
Okay,
to
so-
something.
All right. Yeah, the scorch marks, point blank, got it. All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot, I'm the judge. Thank you for the thorough report, Counsel. The settings of the crime is clear to me. You'll submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please.
As you wish, my lord.
Thank you.
Is this Fresno Street room Inspector Grex's private abode?
No, my lord. The room is rented to a Mr. Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone? But there is precious little furniture inside and is generally in a poor state of repair.
So what on earth was Gregson even doing there?
Presumably, he was investigating some case or other.
When a policeman was informed of the gunshot from the witnesses and rushed to the scene, he found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside, holding the revolver. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot.
So, the details of the case are clear.
In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness.
A name, please, Counsel.
Naturally, the accused himself,
Well, shit!
Lord
Well-
Van Zeeks?
not the arresting officer, not a witness. As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of office he's taken and will be compelled to tell the truth. You sure about that?
Very well. Let the defendant take the witness stand.
We don't even have a Fifth Amendment.
So then why is Sabs casted as the judge here?
I'm gonna leave in like 5 minutes.
So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court.
Barak von Seeks, Old Bailey prosecutor. I presume, Lord Van Seeks, that you have heard Asogi's opening praises. I did. These are weird voices to juggle between. It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by the arriving police officer. Can you confirm this? Yes, my lord.
Then I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things away. Namely, why you were there in the room on Fresno Street at the time in question. And what exactly took place.
I intend to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth. I must say, Lord Van Seeks, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come. But since you became known as the Reaper, a part of me has been dreading it. Your formal testimony, then, witness.
Facts of the incident.
I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked up the firearm to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me.
Huh?
That testimony was the whole truth?
It was.
So, you heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right. You haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse.
I thought you were my mute apprentice. Yet it turns out you have a way with words, Prosecutor Asogi. It would appear to be a singular tale indeed.
Singular isn't the word. It's laughable.
What's gotten into Kazuma? He's not behaving like himself at all.
Very well then. Counsel, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Okay, let's do it. Yes, hi, Jane. Welcome to the stream. All right, you. Let's hold it. That's not what I wanted. Hang on. Hold it. You were investigating the inspector? What on earth for?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Sorry?
I'd identified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in a case I was investigating. Regrettably, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed. It's the court to understand then that on the day in question you followed the victim to the scene. No, I was privy to his movement in advance.
How?
I stole into his office in the yard and consulted his diary.
Stole the whole office.
The address on Fresno Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry.
You illegally entered the man's office? In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense.
As it does in Great Britain, I assure you. Is that not the case, Lord Van Seeks? I was aware of the possible consequences.
So, in summary, you were investigating the victim. And yet, you refused to tell the court why. I didn't realize that British prosecutors enjoyed such freedom to choose what they divulge under oath.
Why did I ever think I could defend this man? Alright, hold it. Had you ever been to the address before?
No, never. I only learned of the place as a result of my investigation to Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make out anything.
But at 5 p.m., the sun would have only just gone down. it would still have been reasonably light outside.
The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside, so it was extremely murky inside.
I'd like that added to testimony.
I would have noticed that the victim was already lying on the floor.
There was no artificial light in the room, you say? You're quite sure?
I'm quite sure that this part of the room where the body was found was very dark, and there was no candelabra right behind him.
No
Light that
candelabra.
up.
Yep, nope.
I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though. I couldn't say for certain.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo. There is a small desk in the room just here.
Yes, I remember. And there was an oil lamp on it, as well as the framed photograph.
So he's claiming that the candelabra was not lit when he entered.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but we can clearly see that after the candelabra was shot, the two others have melted further than the last one.
Yeah, this is it. I'm hoping he just adds it to testimony.
When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started towards the desk to investigate.
And what did you find?
Nothing. I never actually reached the desk before the gunshot. A moment later, I heard a gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor.
It was dark inside and I saw no one. Oh yeah, great.
Yeah, I think it's just
Yeah.
dark. Yeah.
Yeah, we golden.
Sure.
Easy as this, right?
Yeah.
No? What do you mean no? That last statement was bullshit, sir.
In a number of ways, you say?
That's exactly
Why
right,
are
my
you
lord.
incriminating our client.
Well, wait until you find out that it was actually lit for next time, counsel.
But okay.
Alright.
It's definitely that, though.
Yeah,
we might
that-
just need some additional information.
We'll give it a save after that. Okay. I'll go back to pressing. It's fine.
We're just one step ahead.
Yeah. All that. So, who fired the gun?
I have no idea. I didn't see anybody else in the room.
But you say it was very dark in there.
Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is I didn't sense another's presence.
Aha, then could it be that the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room?
No.
Oh.
Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder.
This is going from bad to worse.
Ain't that a jump in the gun?
You can't do that!
Oh, ain't that a gun in the dick? And you say that's the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor?
Correct, and I foolishly picked it up. That was carelessness on my part. Presumably then, the gunshot you heard came from the firearm that you somewhat hastily took in your hands. In point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not.
What?
The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there were no smell of spent powder.
Oh, but then where on earth is the gun that was fired?
Why are you sometimes unable to slap the desk?
I don't know. It's a problem.
Whilst I would... are you struggling to perform under pressure, Mr. Naruhodo?
Slap. Sorry, Dean.
Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I'm afraid I can't. I, too, would dearly like to know that.
Okay. Hold it! A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume?
That's right, one of the street merchants working on Fresno Street.
Who are these merchants?
A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window of the crime scene. A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. They've all given statements saying they heard the gunshot. And without thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened. I would very much like to talk to these people.
Mm.
Yes, Gina told us about that yesterday, didn't she?
They burst through the door with some force, it would seem.
They did, and almost gave me a heart attack in the process.
But you're supposed to be the Reaper.
The first man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled.
A policeman patrolling on Fresno Street heard the commotion and was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred.
Anyway, the man screamed drew my attention in that direction.
Oh, that... what do you mean by that? In what way did the body appear?
I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point. And then suddenly, there it is.
Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand?
At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of the man who came inside first. Nothing more.
I see.
After the man fled, I examined the body. I was stunned to find that it was Gregson. Most curious circumstances indeed. How the inspector was killed, or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere. I have no idea.
Objection.
Oh.
Oh?
Objection! Surely the court... Surely the court has heard enough. My lord, the cross-examination has clearly revealed that the accused, Barak van Zeeks, is lying on multiple fronts.
What is that supposed to mean?
Good gracious, counsel!
Probably still the judge.
Defendant's lying, you say?
In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark.
Or was he about to point it out?
Yeah, I think so.
That's correct.
No, that's impossible. As proven by this candelabrum.
Our evidence!
But I wanted to do that.
Why would you want to do that?
Role reversal.
If you examine the tip of the long candle, you can see it has been blown off by a powerful impact.
One would assume that the projectile from the first firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle.
The problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are clearly of a different length.
Our theory!
I have a different theory to counter
Yeah,
his
me too.
theory. Yeah.
What?
Are we thinking the same thing?
I think we might be. Okay. So I think that Gregson was already dead when
Yeah.
Van Zeeks entered
Yeah.
the room, and that's why it was dark.
Oh, that makes sense.
Gregson died a lot earlier.
Like, all the stuff we're describing had happened long before Van Zeeks walked into the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes, I can see that only the candle that appears to have been struck by the bullet is long.
We could reasonably expect someone to have lit all three candles together. Which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others.
That must be because that particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. Ah!
That's right. When the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles would still have been burning. So the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. And the accused's claim that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts these facts.
Ugh.
And now to the next lie.
There's more?
The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before.
That's the truth.
In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings.
Yes, that's right. We saw it too.
It goes without saying the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged. However, they included a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago.
10 years ago. This is starting to sound familiar.
And there was a common thread linking all of the documents on that board.
Indeed. What is this common thread, Counsel?
They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Barak van Zieks.
No.
them?
He was in there. That's not proof. And furthermore, all those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted.
Good lord.
Interestingly, none of those defendants are alive today, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper.
Ah,
Okay, so somebody was investigating Van Zieks. Doesn't mean he was in there.
Oh no.
In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout and his base of operations.
the Reaper's hideout? No, you're wrong.
And yet the Reaper would claim and yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout? Yeah, that's conjecture. No one would believe that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards.
We're not gonna have a turnabout here, are we?
Yeah, no.
That's the later games. These are not like that. Explain yourself, Counsel.
Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand.
What? Oh.
Like, no, it was Gregson's secret hideout, and he was investigating. That's
Yeah,
why he was there.
Yes.
Yeah. Even Gina suggested that.
Yeah.
Order, order, order!
Like, this is argumentative.
Very well. I hereby state the current opinion of the court.
What?
Wakahai agrees.
Barak van Zieks is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to his country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with Prosecutor Asogi's contentions that the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts. All I have done is state the truth as high as I know it.
Cosmo's done a brilliant job, as ever.
Has he?
Well, he's drawing on his experience as his defense attorney to build his prosecution case, and it's formidable.
Counsel, you'll submit the board that you just showed the court as evidence. I believe it to be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence.
Thank you, my lord.
Okay.
Time to investigate.
And
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
the prosecution would like to call new witnesses to the stand.
But
I'm
before
already
that-
gone.
But before that... Wow, look at all this.
There are details of a whole raft of cases dating back dating back years on here, aren't there?
This paper from 10 years ago is browning with age, look.
Out of interest, the most recent thing appears to be this newspaper cutting here.
Oh, it's the same Red-Headed League advertisement that Mr. Sholmes had picked out.
And do you remember? There was a red hairpiece at the scene too.
Was Inspector Gregson an exponent of the Red-Headed League then? What is an
Oh, there's a hand print.
Oh.
That's a hand.
What
It's
is
a bloody hand.
First, what does he mean by exponent? Oh, well, okay. I don't know.
Mm.
Oh. What's this? Mr. Naruhodo, look!
Oh, yes, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks just like a handprint.
A
And
person
the
who believes in
color.
and promotes the truth or benefits of an idea or theory.
Okay.
Got it.
And the color. That's blood, isn't it? Oh dear. How disturbing.
Very good. Very, very good. Okay, get me out of there. Also, never actually read this. Victim Tobias Gregson, male, age 45, nationality British, time of death unlisted?
Unknown.
Also,
Hmm.
coroner
Our theory holds water.
Maria Gori. Very good. Cause of death. Victim was shot in the chest at close range from the front, resulting in instant death. Scorch marks at point of entry. The bullet exited the body from behind. Additional observations. The caliber of the gun used matches that of standard issue firearms for members of the judiciary. Okay, cool. Yep, okay.
Wait, it says the caliber of the gun. Is that based on the gun that was found at the scene or based on the bullet wound?
I don't know. Maybe both. I don't know.
Because I feel like that's maybe assuming that the gun we found was the murder weapon. Witnesses who saw events unfold on the day in question. We do get to meet them.
They were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember.
Yes, the street sellers who heard the gunshot and went running into the room.
Very well, lead the witnesses in. The defendant may step down from the witness stand. Certainly, my lord. Time for me to now take a break.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh
hi.
boy.
who's up?
Oh!
You!
You! Beppo!
Beppo!
Cosmo?
So, witness. Oh, sorry, I was looking up the casting chart. So, witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Name,
Oh no.
names. We don't use names. Far too fancy for the likes of us.
I love that.
We're just free and easy. Sell what we like, live where we want to live.
Please don't shoot me. I give them all vacant stares as they walk down Fresno. Spit a few words in reverse for them.
Would I be right in assuming that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street?
Everyone calls me gossip. I sell jaunty little tidbits to passers-by, you know.
I love
Oh,
this
that's his
one.
lip.
Jaunty little tidbit.
Yeah, as soon as I saw this guy on the casting chart, I was like, this guy's gonna be Liverpudlian. Because why not? Got an absolute smash for you, sir. What up again all it is? 6 pence is the price, not a penny less.
What's going on with his neck?
Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now.
Come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested. Try the man.
Give him money and see what it is.
But
Pay the man, counsel!
all right, 6 pence it is. Oh,
You won't regret it, sir. Now I got your listening ears on.
He's got like a bruise around his neck. You're right.
Oh.
Just between us, the young couple on Slight Street have just had twins.
Uh, 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 is that right?
Ah!
Oh,
Well, that's not it. It's gossip, innit? It wants to spread. Well, that bit's up to you in your mouth, of course. I've got more, you know. Want to know the juicy one? 6 pence a piece it is, if you're curious.
I am curious, yes, about what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours. Namely, that unusual bruise or
Aha!
whatever it is that's poking out from under your collar.
What about the next witness, then? What name do you go by, and what do you sell?
Well, me, I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny.
Are you gonna be
ain't
like Little Red
Ah!
Riding Hood or
Those
Mac-
shotgun shells? Oh, the
Girl.
fireworks.
I sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids.
I love her.
6 pence a pop. What do you say?
So-
wait, not in the court.
So this was the gunshot that was heard, maybe?
Maybe.
Oh.
You weren't exaggerating with little. Do they actually sell?
Oh, yeah. The second years can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if they get 100, they could blow up the school.
What?
Why? Not the most savory of ideas, young lady.
Also, I hope
What do you
not.
say then, eh? Want a part with 6 pence for a pop?
Wait, what? You want me to buy one? I would. Evidence.
Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you could blow up the whole courtroom.
Try the woman.
Give her the money and see if she's right.
What are you doing?
Hey, the woman council.
All right. I'll buy one.
600 pence to blow up the courtroom.
Lovely stuff. Right then, this is something a bit extra just for you.
Ah, big.
Oh!
The Venus Special, only 600 pence.
600.
It's 100 of my regular fireworks. Nothing little about that, is there?
And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. Okay, I guess I did that.
And the last witness. What name do you go by and what do you sell?
Hang on, before we get to that. All right, let's have a look. Anything interesting going on here? Wait.
So this is important, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you had an idea, Mr. Naruhodo? You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks.
Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus Special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like.
No.
Hmm.
No.
Shall we find out?
What? But she said it could blow up the courtroom. Ah! All right, that was a fairly sizable bang.
My ears are still ringing, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah.
It sounded almost exactly like.
Very good. It goes off like a gunshot. How nice, how
They're kind
nice.
of giving this to us, aren't they?
A little bit. A little bit. That's okay. Okay, I guess that's it. Okay.
I'm think of me, think all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am, therefore I think. I think. Because I stand there on the street watching the world go on around me, they call me the Observerator.
Get off it, old man. Everyone calls you Sandwich and you know it. So, you don't actually sell anything.
Problem shared by problems halved, as they say. I give advice, I do, and what it means. I don't actually say anything, not to come to think of it.
Pity.
No more purchases today, please.
Well, we have quite the cast here, it seems.
They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene.
I see. And thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose.
Not only that, but they very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witness the crime. We'll all be beggared, though, just between us.
Venus de Milo?
Venus de Milo.
Venus de Milo! What am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw!
It's a statue.
What I think is that what I see is light and shadow playing with our eyes. Is any of it real?
Thanks, Jaden.
Is it Milo?
Very well. The court will hear from the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. will describe in detail what you have witnessed and heard at the time of the incident.
Okay. Oh,
Well, so the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they went in the building.
It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang.
Seems to me that quick to talk is a quick to walk. Gossip wouldn't wait to go in and see what happened.
I ran into the room and there he was. The Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body.
I was scared half to death, me. So I ran off to find a copper.
But I found a silver.
if these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building?
Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Barack Van Zeeks. I've seen pictures of the Reaper in the paper. I know what he looks like. And just between us, folks love stories like this. And I've made myself a tiny sum already.
But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it.
All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied. Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased.
And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Hugh Boone.
Tappy? Tappy
Sorry.
down.
I'm muted!
Ah,
The testimony of the court had just heard would appear to leave the little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime.
no!
Thank you for your candor, my lord.
Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witnesses.
Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony. Somehow. Yeah, we'll do it. Okay. Hold it, you. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zeeks?
I suppose so. The likes of us don't know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the old Reaper that went in last, that's for sure and certain.
Just behind Inspector Gregson. Did they arrive at the same time as each other?
No, not at all. This fella must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before we heard the gunshot.
The victim arrived 15 minutes before. Are you sure about that?
Am I sure? Am I sure? Doesn't seem likely that I've forgotten a fella with bright red hair like that, does it?
Yeah, his hair really were red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even.
The fiery red mumps on the side of my eyelids it is.
Wait a minute. You're saying the man was a redhead?
Won't you listen in, chum? I was a redhead. He had a big trunk for him as well.
But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red, not by any stretch of the imagination.
We have a wig.
Mm-hmm. It seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. Is Cosmo gonna drop kick me in the head?
Yes. There he goes.
Oh.
Drop kick inbound.
No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct.
Shoo! What? Ow!
Just have a look at this photograph
Oh.
of the victim taken at the scene.
Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, all right.
Must be a Weasley.
We're actually seeing Gregson.
Oh.
Oh, Gregson.
Oh.
My slight slimmer of Homer, he might still have been alive.
Nope, he did.
Cosmo had a picture of
Sleeping
his
with
corpse.
Sleeping with the fish and chips.
And a red hairpiece.
Ah!
Of course, we saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we?
I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a headpiece. Come on, Ryunosuke. So then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that?
Oh my god, you idiot.
The color does seem to suit the man, one might say.
Yes, very fetching.
The photograph will be submitted as evidence, police counsel.
Okay, thank you. And what became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? Hang on. Hold up. Is there more to that picture? It's a little zoomed out. I don't
Not really.
I don't see anything obvious. Okay. His body appears to be tightly curled up and there's yeah. Okay.
I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene.
So it just disappeared?
Well, you do expect us to have been watching the building every second, do you?
Yes.
We definitely saw him in the dark going in, though. No question about that.
I love that she's southern.
Alright. Hold it! By which presumably you mean the gunshot?
I sell these little things, don't I? How would I know what a gunshot sounds like? But I've always thought it probably sounds a bit like this, doesn't it?
And you say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here enter the building.
That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang! It went. Just like that.
Well, he's the Reaper and he, as with the French call, fait accompli. When the Reaper's around, people are going in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, isn't it?
I think we get the message.
The Reaper couldn't allow the Inspector to live after he discovered his secret hideout. There can be no clearer motive for the crime.
Yes. It certainly is an eminently credible motive.
Great.
And at that point, you ran inside, is that correct? So, do you see the Reaper often?
Hold it!
Did you sell any fireworks that day?
So, when Gossip ran to see what had happened, did you go too?
Well, to me, I'm a bit hampered. See, all the signs of that side, I can't move very well.
You were way behind, presumably, with that sandwich board around your neck and that big sign in your hand. So that's
What a-
why they call them sandwich.
What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before?
I'm not anybody. Me, my signs are maybe who I am now. I sign the for I'm.
So you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago then?
No.
I might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling has intensified, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot.
Hot. Turn down King Henry Street and Black Widower's Arms is just there.
Oh dear. You've made him hide behind his sign.
Life is full of surprises.
So is he like the Victorian equivalent to those guys who spin signs around for Quiznos or whatever?
Yes.
So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right?
That I was. Kicked the door open like a professional, I did. And yelled out, "What's going off here? What's all this then?"
Lord Van Zieks claims he heard a man's, or all he heard was a man's scream, though.
And was it dark inside the room?
No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall.
Really?
And there was a fella collapsed on the floor. Well, just between us is the first thing I noticed when I got inside.
Ah, I see. Even though Lord Van Zieks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall.
The next thing I noticed was somebody standing right beside the body. The accused, Barack Van Zeeks. That's right, Pale-Faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it, but I'm no lily-livered coward. I stood my ground and gave that
Oh.
Reaper a cold hard stare myself.
What do you have to say about that? Excuse me. Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich?
There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am. Just 2 slices with no bread.
The middle.
So, I don't know what you want with me.
I think that maybe you just remembered something? Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean.
What I think is that we're all nothings really. We just try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers.
Well, that's enough out of you, Sandwich. Keep your trap shut now. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich.
When he saw the Reaper, he tried to clean over on his backside.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, you rotten beggar. I told you to keep that a secret.
He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off on all fours. That's all I wanted to say.
Mr. Gossip, is this true?
The floor was dead slippery, that's why.
Uh-huh.
Blotting my hands in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck!
Oh. What? A pool of blood?
But listen here, even when I was sprawled on the floor, I still kept giving that Reaper a cold hard stare, and don't you forget it.
Let's just go back a little. Did you just say that you got blood on your hand?
Oh, did I? Happens to the best of us at times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I slipped over. We can just keep it between us, can't we?
No, Mr. Gossip. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony.
Oh, if I must.
The witness will amend his testimony to include the affirmation details at once.
Cosmo did not like that. Oh, new one.
Quickly wiped it off the floor. Oh, I slipped over and got blood in my hands, so I quickly wiped it off the floor.
Hold
Was the
it.
board laying down on the floor?
Maybe? You wiped your hand on the floor.
Well, who wants blood on his hands, eh? Horrible stuff. It might have thought I'd done it. No thought.
And you didn't think that might be a problem?
Doesn't really matter if I left a few grubby handprints on the floor. They'll get cleaned up in the end, won't they? Don't make such a fuss. That's a message from all of us. It won't.
There's something
Judge?
wrong, counsel. I keep forgetting I'm the judge.
No, my lord. I didn't remember anything in the report about a bloody handprint on the floor. That's all. Don't come at me like all with all that. You can't intimidate me. We know where it is. I know what I did. I wiped it off on the floor with the blood.
I wonder. Could that be what happened?
So the board was on the floor.
Yeah. Mr. Naruhodo?
Under the floorboards. I don't have all the answers yet, but I think we may have just uncovered a vital clue.
Gee.
Okay. Yeah. One more. Hold it. So you didn't run into the room with your friends?
I'm not that sort of girl.
Sorry?
I'm a timid little thing, me. I was too scared to go in there.
Oh,
His voice is
right.
perfect. I just want to say that.
I see.
Old Lippy and the witch ran in there, and then I heard that sort of old lady scream.
Lippy and the Witch?
The
I
Witch.
have all their albums.
The Witch is great.
Well, that wasn't me, I swear. If I were a gentleman, I'd stick melon on it.
I wondered what on earth was going on.
Which is when you went to find a policeman?
And I ran into a copper as soon as I turned the corner. So I brought him straight back to the place. Didn't I do well, eh?
Just between us, that couple's eyes nearly popped out of his head when he saw the Reaper.
I've never felt more uncomfortable in all my life.
And the defendant was arrested on the spot, I believe.
Considering the catalogue of killings the Reaper had carried out, it was a particularly inauspicious end.
If I can't find any holes in this testimony,
I'm afraid the judge will give a ruling of guilty, Mr. Naruhodo.
the truth is, though, their combined testimony is fairly damning.
Unfortunately, there don't seem to be any obvious problems with their statements, do there?
Still, if Lord Van Zeeks really is innocent, then I'm almost certain that we'll find something in there that doesn't quite add up.
You don't think that one of these three could be the true culprit, do you?
Beppo, I don't know, but what I do know is that there's more to this case that is yet to be brought to light. Okay, where's the one where you talked about the handprint? That this? Okay. I mean, do I just present the board?
I guess so.
I think so. That or... was there another statement?
What were you thinking?
I was just wondering if you said something else as well that was indicative, but no, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's probably
it.
this. Yeah, okay. All right. Here, why don't you take the board? Go ahead. Great.
Get fucked.
So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that?
Well, what else do you expect me to have done, eh? Doesn't really matter.
Objection.
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations. What exactly is the defense asserting?
Objection! If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Sogi.
Oh,
Certainly, there was no bloody handprint found on the floor.
what are you trying to say?
There was a handprint in blood left very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board.
Oh!
Why, yes, indeed. Indisputably, a handprint in the distinctive color of blood.
Oh, I'm trying to eat. Oh, you did right. That's Moraine. I knew it anywhere. God, actual hero. The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. The handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant.
Objection! Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there.
Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notice board was in the opposite corner of the room to the victim and in an upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled and was lying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body.
What does that matter?
Something's going on here.
Because the
I fell
blood
over
wouldn't
when
have
I-
been close enough for him to get his hands in
Oh.
the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blood would have been far away. I fell over when I came across the body. So I was basically right next to the corpse, not on the other side of the room. In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh shit!
There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason.
Oh wait, this is bad for me.
You dumbass. Oh,
Hello?
Hello?
Jay.
Who goes there?
How
Oh,
you doing?
did Jay maybe get a call and forgot to mute?
Maybe.
Uh-oh.
I take it that you formulated a proper hypothesis, Counsel. regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness account and the handprint found at the scene.
I have, my lord. This discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint is explained by another handprint, the board moving, false testimony. False testimony. We haven't found another handprint. The board could have been moved. I don't know what I have to support that, though.
I feel like if the board had been moved, then that means that there was a lot more happened than we know about.
Yeah.
True. And that would be to our benefit, if that was the case.
True.
I don't know. Maybe false testimony, maybe? It kind of isn't adding up.
Yeah, false test. Well,
I'm gonna give that a save. I'm gonna have a save about that. Okay. Alright, you, false testimony.
I hit the wrong button.
Whoops.
you did.
The witness claims to have wiped his bloody hand on the floor, yet no sign of that remains at the scene. The simplest explanation is that the witness is lying.
Objection.
Just because it's the simplest explanation doesn't make it the correct one. Ryunosuke Naruhodo?
Ah,
Positing perjury simply because it suits you. You bring shame on your Japanese heritage.
battle! Oh, damn.
Dishonor!
I would ask you not oversimplify matters again.
Very well. Let's go back to a time before I did that, shall we? Okay. Probably the board moving then. That's my guess. The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down.
Good gracious, so it is. If the witness had to put his hand against the board, the fingers should have been pointing upwards.
What does that tell us?
It tells one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested, which means that after the incident, it must have been moved.
Say
His
what?
post.
Objection.
You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting. Then tell the court who.
I don't know that yet, but the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we could now be very clear on one point.
And that would be?
The position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord.
So, counsel, I must ask you to clarify the assertion for the court. At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice was situated? A notice board.
I guess it would have to be by Gregson.
Yeah.
Here?
Take that.
Take that. Heh! It was right here, my lord.
Goodness! No.
Oh.
I'm afraid I don't quite see your logic.
No.
I'm disappointed, Ryunosuke. In Japan, we're taught to have patience and respect for our elders. So until his lordship sees your logic, you will know your place and not to move from that spot.
Are you eating something?
Yes!
I see.
How brilliant of Kazuma-sama. That almost sounded unreasonable at first, but he was just thinking of you.
Unreasonable. Try unfathomable. Anyway, I think I have the answer now. I know my place. Or rather, I know the board's place.
Do it again.
Okay, I'll do it again. Okay, maybe in this nook to the right?
Well, I think it's just
No,
you
I'm
did it
thinking
on top of Gregson,
To
so
the
that is
left
wrong.
of Gregson.
To the left of...
Between
Oh.
Gregson and the door.
That does make sense. Take that. This is the only possible location. Oh.
Immediately adjacent to the doorway.
If the court would
door
think
not
back to the
closer?
testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room, it was dark. and that he couldn't see the body.
Boyek? Bo!
If the notice board had been here, the body would have been completely hidden from view, and the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear dark.
Objection.
But the accused also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him.
That's true. Or in his precise words.
Just as I picked a firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me.
I don't know about calling it a scream, but it was talking about me and no mistake. Because it was me that kicked the door open.
If you look again at the floor plan, consider what would have happened if the door to the room was thrown open with force.
That can't.
The door struck the notice board, knocking it over, and making the victim's body visible.
Good gracious!
My client has told nothing but the truth. He has simply described what he saw.
Order! Counsel, how has this not come to light before now?
After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleagues saw it when investigating the room.
Tampering with evidence.
Witness, what will you say for yourself?
What? Me, my lord?
You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board.
The witness in the stand will testify again. You will each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime.
Stop looking over your glasses at me. I'll get the message.
Yes, you get the message. You get the message for sure.
Oh, am I allowed?
Now you
No.
Not quite.
Yeah. Alright, here we go.
Boyek.
Oh, yeah. You're right. There we go.
Boyek.
Moving forward. Oh,
I don't know anything about that there notice board. I just want my hand on it, that's all.
Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was just doing business with some second years at the time.
She loves fire.
I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, just a sign at the crossroads of life.
It was our Reaper, I bet. He's got a face that screams bored.
I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot.
I see.
Hmm.
Very,
Is
very,
that true?
very clear. Thank you.
So none of you can elaborate further.
Shaken by the crime they had witnessed, and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see, we can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened.
That's right, yeah. They don't pay to expect too much.
In this quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think.
Do you? Really?
Thank you, Lovecraft. In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Barak von Zeeks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact.
Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witness despite the circumstances?
Yes, most certainly, my lord.
Very well, then you may proceed, counsel.
Okay, I will. Thanks. Alright, you. Hold it! So, you admit that it was the board you wiped your bloody hand on.
Admit it? What's to admit? It's here plain as day for all to see. A smashing print of my right hand.
Perhaps you wanted to hide that handprint. So you righted the notice board and pushed it into the corner, did you?
No, no. Imagine the weight of that great lump. Do I look like a powerful and well-nurtured man?
Well, did you see anybody else moving the board?
I've got nerves of steel, I can tell you. But even I have my limits. There was a body on the floor in the front of me, and the Grim Reaper himself standing over it. And there was precious little light inside either. My bottom lip was all a quiver. In other words, this witness is unable to give definitive testimony on that point.
Yes, so it would seem.
Hold it. When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks?
Yeah, what else? There's the Priory School just around the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have a plan to blow up their school to Kingdom Come.
Your deal is kind of weird, but okay.
I like her.
So I've been telling on them, letting their teachers know what they're up to.
Oh, that's good. Oh, you have?
Yeah, wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so I let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them. And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to buy more. Everybody's happy, see?
What a racket.
Course. And sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know.
I just realized how she's lighting the match.
You didn't see it till now?
See?
I was looking at it, but I didn't register the.
It's a busy old life selling explosives.
Can you do that?
Have you not seen cartoons doing that before?
It depends on the
If they
match.
if they wear jeans too, it's a rougher material.
But you can't do it with modern matches.
Well, Jay,
It's
have you
safer.
considered this fact?
Cartoon.
That and she's hot, maybe, so that's maybe this.
Uh,
Venus is a guileful goddess indeed.
Well, telling barefaced lies
bah!
is kind of my thing, really.
Ah!
I'm ever so good at it.
Alright, what do you gotta say?
Excuse me.
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich? You can call him Beppo, it's fine.
Oh yeah, the lady from Ghost Trick.
Right, yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that. If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end?
Just a
of
little
it?
mood lighting.
No, it wouldn't. Did Miss Venus's statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts.
Out with it, Diogenes.
Let's say there was a great liar somewhere, nowhere, somewhere. And the great liar said, without batting an eye, he didn't take any. Telling bare-faced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too? Or there's a truth in which the case she is not a liar? Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one, don't you think?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But, it seems to me that you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you?
No.
What are you going on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that, and I'll wrap your whole body in fireworks and set them off. That'll give you something to tremble about.
You have a startling, disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady.
So, Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich?
Well, if it means being burned in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that is what I am saying.
Can you elaborate, please, sir?
Oh, Blabbermouth here headed for the room where the gunshot seemed to come from. But there was something else who crept up the stairs behind him. That's right, the rotten liar over there.
Do you mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself up to the scene of the crime after all?
What did I tell you, eh? I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I?
Yes, you mentioned
So,
it.
you're perjury?
Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it?
Who knew firecrackers pack such a punch?
What does that change?
Oh.
So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief.
Well, now that you come to mention it, I suppose perhaps I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah?
Either you clearly remember it or you don't.
Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurious act later.
Oh, wow, okay.
For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth.
Oh, yes, my lord, of course. Maybe I
Okay.
did sneak.
Didn't we already read that? Oh, no, it
No.
was new. You're right. Hang on. Maybe I can... Yeah.
Maybe I did sneak along behind gossip and have a little peek into the room where it all happened.
Hold it. You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus?
Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. If you want my advice, though, I'd take everything I say with a big pinch of salt.
All right, but you did, in fact, go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you?
Oh, please. As if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying.
The truth, please.
Well, all right. Just a bit, then. I mean,
No,
a girl
the
my
whole
age
truth.
is curious about stuff, you know?
Did you touch anything at the scene?
Oh, please. As if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor.
The truth, please.
Well, all right. Just a bit, then. I had a look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a good once-over, but it was nothing to write home about.
Right. Well, now I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you?
Oh, please! As if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had.
This character must be fun to voice.
The truth, please.
Well, all right then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. So I blasted the flippin' thing. Sorry, flipped the blasted thing.
You're telling us that you did move the board?
I think that did slip out, didn't it?
Well, you deaf bomb pot?
That's a new one. Okay.
I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think.
Are you okay, miss? So did you find anything yet, then? Something that you might have taken, perhaps? To sell?
Oh, please. I should be so
Wow.
lucky.
The truth now!
Well,
I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose.
Oh my god. Oh
but
my
a bit of
god.
junk like that.
Oh.
Oh.
Hi.
So it was you, was it? You're the one who took it.
Gina!
So-
You know,
Also, welcome to the stream, Lily.
Hello.
Yay.
hey.
Young lady, may I remind you where you are, except that you have 100% the right of being really upset at this witness.
That watch. That watch there. That was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago. The professor case, no doubt. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come in the pub.
So the fact that this thing was hidden under the board has got to be important. I see.
So, the board was knocked over after he was killed.
Most likely, yeah.
I swiped it off him once, and blimey was he upset. He gave me a right earful. Oh no, the other accent is blending into
There's
this one.
3 of them.
Uh-oh.
There's 3 of them now. And he hadn't missed a day in the past 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did.
Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then.
It's not all that, though. I took it to James's that night and asked how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it. Said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it. Ugh! I knew I should have lifted it.
You two have a lot in common.
Rivals. That watch must be submitted as evidence at once!
Oh, please. Just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done.
Hell no!
Not a chance. I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again.
That's enough! Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith.
Now, children, watch your manners.
Good lord!
Oh.
You fucked up.
Oh.
What's the time? What's the time on it?
What's
More
the
than likely,
time?
What's the time?
It was shattered when the inspector was shot.
It doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jabez didn't want it. What a waste, eh?
Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at the hour of 5.
Exactly when the gunshot was heard then.
Damn it!
Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course. Or wait, that maybe it didn't shatter when it was broken, but rather when the board fell.
Maybe.
Or it was 5 in the morning.
Maybe.
We should examine it.
Yeah, we will.
Well, it would appear that the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved, at least.
I was gonna wait until we got back to the pressing part, but maybe it wouldn't let me if I did that. Okay, I'll just look. Hi, what do you have going on? The glass over the face really is badly cracked, look.
What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully.
I imagine Mr. Sholmes could repair it, don't you?
Yes, I should think so.
He's very adept at things like this. A useful man to have around, in fact.
But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruhodo, not an odd job man.
Fair enough. On the back. It wasn't the back. The bottom.
The key!
Oh, yeah! Ah, there's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see?
Oh, yes. That's probably for the winder used to wind up the mechanism.
It looks a little unusual, don't you think?
Yes, you'd need just the right key to wind it, I imagine.
Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something a bit like a key that's about the right size to fit in this hole.
Oh, it would be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully over what we've already found.
I mean, fine, but how am I supposed to use it from evidence? Oh, wait, this also? There's a tiny little stub sticking up from this small hole here, look.
I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that for setting the time.
In that case, seeing as we already know the inspector took such good care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it?
Yes, of course.
Which could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. It could. Okay.
I've been playing too much Zeroscape. I keep thinking you should be combining items.
I would.
Well, in this case, it would make sense.
One day we'll try that again. One day. Okay, yeah, we can move on now. Yeah, we're good.
And as predicted, it had very little bearing on the case.
Now then, continue with the cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yeah.
Alright. Hold it. But you did go to see what had happened in the room, didn't you?
Fresno Street is my whole world. It's all I know, and all I know of it. I have to make my business to know if I want to hold my sign up high.
So you did go to see what had happened.
It's not the destination that's important. It's how you get there, isn't it?
Did you notice the notice board in the room? That's what it's for.
If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? And both different members of the Psy family.
Beppo, you got so much more annoying since last time.
Hot! So, if I'd spotted, I might have tried to drip it up out of a sense of rivalry, I admit.
Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo signians.
Sinians.
Sinians! It's very good!
I can get the fake words. That's mine.
Does that mean that you didn't notice the board?
I can repeat what I said before.
There is no Beppo. There is only sandwich.
I don't know anything about anything. There's a mice under me, just a sign at the crossroads of life.
What if it's like his twin or something? Like it actually
Possible.
is a Beppo.
That'd be funny, actually.
Signpost.
In which case, just who was responsible for moving the notice board? Super Beppo 64.
Alright. Oh, no skeep. No skeep. Hold it. What exactly do you mean by that?
Oh, come on now. Don't tell us you.
God damn it, Jay. You were waiting for that.
Thank you.
I didn't know I needed that.
What? Is that from Mario World?
Yeah.
Let her read the line, Jack.
Oh, me?
I'm just laughing. Oh, come on now, don't tell us you've not noticed.
Stop
it! The sandwich?
Sorry.
It looks like he hates everything in the world, that fella. But not notice boards. If one thing he likes, you can see it in his eyes.
I can't say I'd ever noticed.
That and step ladders. And shovels. I'll tell you one thing for free, though. Never took my eyes off that man on the floor, or off the Reaper, not for a second.
Sorry?
Well, I was that scared I couldn't. You could never know what a fiend like that might do if you look away, do you?
If you didn't take your eyes off the defendant, you should be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board.
I that I can. The Reaper did nothing of the sort, I can swear to that. I couldn't have missed it if he'd have heaved the thing up right again and dragged it into the corner.
Don't we already know that she did it? Right.
Guess we're confirming.
Glad we've cleared that up.
What happened to the face that screams bored?
I feel your pain, Cosmo. Hold it! It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it?
Maybe the notice board fell over, and maybe it didn't. Maybe it fell over, or maybe I didn't. Falling is hard. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way, because that gunshot we all heard. So your fate's sealed too.
My fate?
That's right. The defense is fated to lose, and the prosecution to win.
Yeah. In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of their story.
It may be possible to change all of our fates.
Of course, none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, does it?
Not much to go on.
As you've pointed out, Mr. Naruhodo, there's no question that the notice board was moved. So somebody must have done it.
But it did happen after the event, so maybe Cosmo is right and it's not relevant to the case?
But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all of this.
Yes, I know what you mean.
I've no doubt that there are more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track. I can feel it. So follow your instincts.
Alright then. Oh! You don't know anything about that notice board. Put your hand on it, that's all. It's probably this bit at the end where Beppo says, can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot. So we're positing that these firecrackers were the sound instead.
The
Do I just-
firecrackers were the sound, and the pocket watch broke when the thing fell on top of it.
Okay.
Not when the murder occurred.
You know, they did make a big point about how there's a knob that can change the time on it.
Yeah.
They did. I just
That
kind of assumed.
too.
I just kind of assumed that we hadn't gotten to that bit yet, though.
Yeah, I'm
So-
wondering
so I'm
if maybe
thinking that-
what's gonna happen is you need a key to wind it.
So I'm
Yeah,
thinking like
probably.
maybe the killer changed the time on the watch and then broke it.
Ah, that makes sense. Is it as easy as just presenting the Venus firecracker to this?
Can we examine
Might
the key?
be.
Do we have the key?
The key?
Yeah, we have
still
the key.
It's
Yeah,
this
the key
thing.
was part of this figurine.
It's this dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
will
if
something else happen when we examine this again?
I'm not convinced about the charm. No, they already said all this bit. Okay. Now,
And now
examine
if
this
we
part.
press the key.
Mr. Zato, do you think perhaps this key
Yeah.
could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch?
Oh! Yes, it could be! Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose.
Okay.
It does not adjust the time, I see. Or it does!
I knew it.
Oh.
A perfect fit.
And look,
Oh!
the inspector's watch has started going again.
Ah, so it has obviously just not been wound up, that's all. What is it, Mr.
So
Zato?
it hasn't been wound in a while. Then like
Yeah. Well,
he might have been
Did
dead
that.
for a day or more.
Could have been.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have it could have profound implications.
Oh.
And I like none of them.
She's deep in thought now. Perhaps I'd better start thinking deeply too. Ah. Andy, would you guys be okay with a quick break before we continue?
Never!
I
Dang.
would be okay with that because I'm very thirsty.
Okay, cool.
It's fine by me.
All right, chat.
All
Be
right.
right back.
See you.
We're back. Thank you for your patience.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, it's this one. Damn it.
Oh.
One time I'll get that right the first time. Hello. Okay. So, can't see how this changes anything anyway. Did finding that out about the pocket watch really help us in this
Not
situation?
yet.
Not yet, but it will tell us that it like kept ticking after he died, most likely,
Sure.
and it died earlier.
Wait, the detective still died when we heard the gunshot. Maybe it is relevant.
No.
Oh wait.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The watch because
Yeah.
the watch, if the watch wasn't broken, then that means that it hasn't been wound in a long time.
I bet it's that.
Yeah.
I'm willing to try it. Here, you want to take this
Right.
pocket watch? Yeah.
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 I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. Aw. At the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch.
A key.
And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken after all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built.
What?
Order! Council! The watch has stopped at exactly 5 o'clock!
Yeah, which is when we heard that gunshot.
It is exactly the hour.
The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection.
I don't know if that would hold up, but okay.
It could be a coincidence. Even if that's true. The three witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when this crime was committed.
Objection! No,
Bullshit.
that doesn't hold.
Why not?
Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago.
The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail
Ah.
while he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. Said he hadn't missed a day in the past 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did.
The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day, in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well.
Yes, that would be entirely reasonable.
But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day.
Oh, boy.
Well, how do you explain it then?
In
That was a
summary,
cool effect.
the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch.
You can't mean.
What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. Make sense?
I'm actually kind of happy they didn't go for that. Oh, it wasn't 5 in the evening, it was 5 in the morning that I at first theorized.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
have been annoying.
Order! Council, that is the most extraordinary claim.
Objection.
Extraordinary is the word. It's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night before? Do you really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that?
Yes.
That, well,
On that subject, there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report.
that's right.
Yeah.
The time of death is not noted.
That's right.
Wait a minute. You're forgetting that my legs went from under me when I kicked the door in.
What do you mean?
Like I said, I planted my hand in the dirty great pot of blood. Yes. So the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh. He catches on fast, doesn't he?
Objection.
Objection. But that blood
Look
could
at
be
that man.
That blood could be explained in any number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim's body after.
Does my learned friend
Oh my
think
God.
that fresh blood is available at every street corner? Well, you're
That-
right. There are
Oh.
a lot of butchers in this area.
Oh,
Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course.
Yeah, British people have a lot of dishes that are made out of pig's blood. It's weird.
It's normal.
We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human.
The problem is currently being researched at present. You are correct. It is beyond our abilities. I mean,
Clueless. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say in Norway we have something called blood pancakes.
oh.
No.
Hmm. So then, a chicken's
Blood pudding.
Chicken's blood could have been used, for example.
It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all.
Ah, ba, 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 ba.
Objection.
But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question.
Is it though?
What?
Given that,
Nani?
given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all.
Oh, please. What are you trying to say?
Us lot know what we heard, and it was a loud bang that came from that very room.
What?
Now you listen to me. Straight to those ears are his livelihood and his.
Avant karma.
I don't doubt your ears, sir, but all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise.
Eh?
Explain yourself then, Council. What firework are you gonna pop now?
A noise that sounds like a gunshot that could have been made with this hairpiece.
gun.
Okay. No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
This picture, sir.
Your Honor, I am a dumbass.
Picture made that sound effect.
Your Honor, please berate me.
Wait. Death!
Death.
No, you dumb shit.
Thank you very much,
Something-
Miss
a
Suzato.
gun Could
Here,
have been made with this gun.
take that. Something like this. The culprit could have set off one of these to fake a gunshot.
You filthy animal.
How did you mix the two up, my Council?
Shut up, Your Honor. Yeah, Vicky,
Thank you.
thanks.
Hey.
This is chaos.
The very fireworks that were sold by the witness.
Now, hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it?
I actually hadn't.
My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway. See?
Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. Buh. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact.
Ah!
You're trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene.
I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day, and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection.
But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barak von Zeeks.
Thrown in the window?
One whiff of that, or one whiff of a match, and my firecrackers go pop. See? That's why people like them.
I fear for your fingers, young lady.
Objection! Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learnt of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb.
Good heavens, a bomb!
Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like.
Mr. Naruhodo, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to yet another international incident.
No, wait, it's not the whatever you like part that's important.
A timed device?
Yes, exactly! A timed device! Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left.
Your extravagant claims will have to be substantiated with evidence, Counsel.
No, they only said who went into the building, right? They didn't mention anybody coming out.
Oh. I think I got it though.
Somebody
The
went in.
candles!
Yeah, the candles must have lit the thing.
Oh.
Like when it's melted beyond a certain point, that's when it was gonna bang.
Okay. Read
Yeah.
the line, Judge.
Oh, what proof do you have to suggest that anyway the time device was deployed with created gunshots?
I'm gonna go with the candelabrum. Yeah.
Yeah!
As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in this candelabrum has been blown off.
Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim.
I don't think that's possible, my lord.
Not possible. Why?
Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the Oh, because it's too far away. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
There are? Goodness, yes. But is it not the case that there were also scorching on the victims there around the bullet entry wound?
That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun.
Ah,
Which means that the scorching on the candle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot.
You're suggesting it came from the fireworks? How can that be, eh?
The fact that there's such a visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Or to put it another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point partway down the candle. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burnt down along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud bang.
How is his back?
dead.
In terrible pain, my lord.
And that is how these three witnesses came to believe they'd heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock.
Well, what a plot! And this implies that the victim could have died earlier than we had led to believe. The previous day, even.
Mm-hmm.
No, just hold your horses. Oh, there's a lot here saw the victim going in the building, remember?
I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair, even if I wanted to.
The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all.
You mean this red-colored hair?
Oh, you mean this one? You consider this.
Oh!
Obviously, anybody can wear a wig. So the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely wearing a red hairpiece.
Someone else? Do you mean to say?
It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. Hmm? Oh.
Oh, very impressive, Inosuke Naruhodo.
Kazuma? Why'd you use my full name? So,
I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer?
yeah.
I also noted the lack of time of death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired.
Oh. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
I didn't do it.
Oh! Order! Prosecutor Sogi! Almost
Don't make me use your middle name.
What on earth do you mean by that statement?
Did the Japanese have middle names?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Huh.
At the very least, not common from what I'm aware of.
Yeah. I hear that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today. so we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. Oh, now you bring up conjecture. Oh, but while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it.
Well, certainly, I would agree with you.
And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing and where did he go on the day before the incident?
Do you know?
The inspector always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard.
Even within the yard.
However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend?
I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating.
Yes, I agree. Surely. My lord, the defense believes it can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death.
Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident?
Case being
Investigating.
The newspaper?
Oh, the newspaper, you say? This
The
one?
Red-Haired League.
It's just... I was gonna pick the board.
I mean, that also makes sense.
Yeah.
But which one is more likely?
Well, with his red wig on, it makes more sense that he's currently investigating the
Well, I mean-
red-headed.
The killer is the one that was wearing the wig, though, when they walked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
They left behind the wig.
Uh...
Can you save?
It's one
Oh,
of those two at the very
Actually,
least.
can I? Can I? Oh, yes, I can. Great. Yeah, I'll have a save. Okay. Okay. Let's get a vote. Who wants the newspaper?
Hi.
Okay, who wants the board?
I'll say the board.
Okay, only 2 spoke up.
I abstained courteously.
Newspaper.
Newspaper? Okay.
Newspaper.
Okay. Take that. Okay, alright! Okay!
Oh.
I believe this red hair piece points
That's
to the
not
answer.
even what we selected.
Well,
What? That's not even what you were selected.
but it did work. We might assume that it was part of the disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation.
Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable.
Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League.
The Red-Headed League.
So, you'd already worked it out.
What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen?
The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception.
The deception of what nature, counsel?
They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact.
My lord, the defense calls for these 2 men to be summoned at once.
Oh no.
Yeah.
2 redheads?
Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece. So it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events.
I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored.
Well done, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us at least.
The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these two red-headed league conspirators before me, Prosecutor Asogi.
At once, my lord.
Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned.
But Judge, we don't have that time. We don't have that. We're gonna have to keep powering through.
To be continued.
No. Oh yeah, okay. You win.
I won! I'm the best.
Now, do
Are
we
we-
continue past this point?
I think for a little bit, yeah. That would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Still November.
Oh, there you are, Odo.
What kept you, my dear fellow?
Hello, Mr. Sholmes, Gina.
You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, you know, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina.
As was I. Possibly more shocked than both of you.
It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. But I was more shocked than all of you put together. This is the oh,
Oh, this is the autopsy report in question, is it?
yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission.
Oh dear. If it was deliberate. It puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Scythe.
I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zeeks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick.
No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare sense of a weekly 4-pound income.
And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose.
Yes.
The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Sholmes' suite, I mean. That's right, Zeus. And it was me who took 'em in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen.
Indeed, yours truly.
So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them?
Where the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly 4-pound income.
Don't tar him with the same brush as you, Sholmes.
Yes, well, there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zeeks for some reason.
The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zeeks.
And Cosmo. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow.
Gosh, I think you're right.
What's he really trying to achieve here today?
All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly.
Yes, you're right. Cosmo's determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial, and he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Are you ready then, Mrs. Otto?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Good.
Great.
It's November.
Excellent!
What are you posing for?
Amazing.
Outstanding!
In the name of her majesty-
Incredible!
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. I resume the close quarter hearing of Baroque Van Seeks, here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Asogi. I keep seeing Asogi and I want to say ouchie.
Oh,
My
do you miss him
lord.
that bad?
I do! Have you summoned the witnesses as requested?
Yes, the 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage.
Very good. Bafaleaf, usher the 2 men into the courtroom.
There they are. Aww.
Spaghetti! These 2 men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court.
I am Fabien de Rousseau.
So,
A descendant of the great de Rousseau family from Nice, France.
nice. And Rossi.
That's you, Jay.
I was this?
Yeah.
You were this.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh no. what did I
Italian.
do?
They're Italian. You could just
Mario.
You could just be Mario if you want.
Mario.
Mamma mia.
Wahoo!
Wahoo!
And
Hello.
my name is Pepperoni de Rossi.
No.
Close enough.
Peony.
Pepino.
And I am the 3rd son of the great family de Rossi.
Oh!
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
That was straight up a Mario move. The 2 men first became acquainted at boarding school for European nobility.
So again.
Those who graduate from Temsic are the future leaders of Europe.
Temsic? Like
Temsic.
Like Temsic from Ghost Trick?
Oh my god.
Yeah!
I knew
That
that
is a-
sounded familiar.
That is
Now,
a
I
Ghost
was like,
Trick reference.
I've heard that before.
That's a Ghost Trick reference.
Amazing.
But do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Alors! I am making my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little gray cells of my brain. Stop slurping!
Those noodles never. I think it's that whole place just one big noodle.
That looks
I
tasty.
thought
is
this
all
was
I'm
the
trying to
place is the fish and chips.
That is all I'm trying to do, huh?
I think
Also,
I love
yes,
these
both
two.
their last names mean red.
Yeah. So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out?
We? You could say that.
Aw.
Not bad, eh? He has the great ideas, but the petty plans. This strange combination isn't the charm of the hilarious, no.
Hilarious brothers!
Hilarious, brother!
Hey, paisanos, it's the Hilarious Brothers Super Show!
Si capo?
I love these 2.
Yeah, they're adorable. I love them.
Listen to me, Peppino. I have 2 things to say to you.
Aw.
Ecce, are you going to tell me about your Grandini and the Chonis and Evia?
No, no notes, continue. No notes, continue.
Oh no!
Firstly, I want you to stop calling me Sis Capo. And secondly,
You're not Italian.
I know it's hard to lose the voice. We are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business.
Che bello that it is! The capos trump a card, they furrow the brow. It is dia capo! The furrow is the meaning of your words.
The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true?
Oui, Sestica.
Sissa.
Sir, that was a letter. And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud?
Lord, I will explain it.
I love that animation. It's so smooth. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Lokipo, leave it to me.
Chance has access to merge these for these guys who will merge into one by the end of this.
This will be really beautiful. As you can see, we have both the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased without a pity.
Oh.
Oh.
This couple here, he has many times behind the schoolhouse crying like Charlie Fontaine. Zeus dogs, and one day they would respect us who read the Hades. Every night we would bury his head in his pillow.
C'est bien, Pepino! Enough. I will explain the rest.
Okay.
The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London.
Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe. Entitled To the Red-Headed League.
Oui, c'est ça. Sure. I am honored that you have seen it.
It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could conceive a weekly income of £4.
On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement. And from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings.
And with the money, to France. It was our plan most elegant, no?
Wait a minute. You were going to France? Oh.
Uh-oh. No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick.
The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk, like a coaster's orange barrel.
What's a coster? And the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these 2 men spoke face to face with every single person present that day.
Oui. I have seen more red-headed people on one day than I will see in the rest of my life.
See, and then now every time I see couple's hair, I feel sick to my stomach.
Anyway, why have we been summoned here today?
Sorry?
Oh, a coster is a produce seller, so they meant like actual oranges.
Oh. Oh, an orange barrow. I see. Okay.
Yeah,
The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told.
the
So
fruit.
wouldn't it be orange?
Orange and red are basically the same color.
I guess so.
Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've
And they
only
won't
been
for a week.
shown this photograph.
Very good. Very good. So, Mr. De Rousseau and Mr. De Rossi, you will now give your formal testimony to the court
Monsieur and Senor.
on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph.
Of course, we are always ready to help with the law.
Making for a perfect to be continued.
No. No, I want the spaghetti.
Oh, but I'm gonna hit the A button so we get music next time. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. was fun.
Rosie's face is so shaped.
Yes.
These two remind me of the doofus bad guys from the end of the first game too.
Yeah. I was thinking that too.
What were their names? They were Pear
Oh.
and
The
Apple.
Ringo
brothers.
and...
Ringo and.
Oh, yeah.
Ringo and...
Either way, I loved those guys, and I think I love these two as well.
yeah.
They're getting a little bit more characterization. This is fun. We got a lot of answers here and a lot of questions
Ringo and
too.
Nash.
A lot of questions. So much going on here.
Mhm.
Weird witnesses also, but I love them.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's everything for us. What are we doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow
Well, I'm
is.
glad you asked.
Tomorrow we're gonna take a break night.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is the Splatoon 3 Splatfest world premiere.
Ooh.
Yes.
And we're gonna be there. We're gonna be playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should play. You should
Yeah.
play with us. Do that.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Cool.
I'll
just
be
to
there
note-
for part of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just a note though, we are gonna be server hopping kind of. So for the first like 2 hours, we're gonna be playing on the European servers, just so we can get a taste of the Tricolor Splatfest mode.
Yes.
What kind of soup is this? Redheaded soup?
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Spaghetti soup. Spaghetti
Firecracker
soup.
soup.
Oh, firecracker soup.
Sure.
Yeah.
Firecracker soup could be.
You got a whole spread of soup options before you. Take your pick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, team. That's gonna be it for us. Thank you all very much for hanging out with us, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.
Good night.
Bye bye.